Good afternoon, grade 12s. Welcome to today's lesson. I'm so excited to have you with me. It's Friday. Yay. I've always wondered though, because it's the lockdown, do we still get excited about Fridays or do we just, I don't know. What do you guys say? Do we get excited about Fridays still or no? So if you still get excited about Fridays, give me a thumbs up. Or if you don't, give me a thumbs down. I just want to know. I just want to find out from you. I am Miss Casa and I'm going to be your teacher for this term. On the screen is my email address. Please take note of it. It's casazama@yahoo.com. It is very important that you take note of it because this is where you will send me your homework and this is where you can ask me questions about our lessons or anything that you're struggling with at school. Well, English related. Please don't ask me about maths because I am an English teacher and my maths is, yeah. Grade 12s, if you are ready for today's class, just say hi, ma'am, or good afternoon, just so I know that you're ready and your fingers are ready because you'll be doing a lot of writing today. We have a quiz in today's lesson. Okay, but before we get into our quiz, grade 12s, I gave you homework on Wednesday. So if you haven't done it yet, that's fine, but can you please do it and email me your homework? Okay. Fortunately for you, today you're not getting any homework, so you have a chance to just do your summary and send it to me on the email address that is on your screen. You'll see my email address again at the end of the lesson, but you can write it down for now. Okay. Matrix, I said say hi on the chat so I know you're here, thumbs up or wave so I know that you're ready for today's class and you're as excited as I am about it. As I said, today we are having a quiz. So the quiz is basically about what you learned on Wednesday, the summary, and what we covered last term. Last time we looked at the poem Remember by Christina Rosetti. So we're going to be just discussing that as well today. Okay, before we get into our true and false. So as I said, it's a quiz day today. It's Friday, so we're taking things a little easier, just to recap and a bit of revision. So like I said, it's just all about what you've acquired so far in the class. Okay, so here is our first question, and it's about summaries. I see Bongi has given me a high five. Thank you, Bongi. Welcome. All right, there are 3 steps to follow to writing a good summary. Is this true or is this false? We discussed this on Wednesday. Remember, you can raise your hand so you can share your answers, or you can just write them down and I'll read them to the class. True or false? There are 3 steps to follow to writing a good summary. Please write your answers down, grade 12s. Or you can raise your hand. True or false? We discussed the steps on Wednesday. Okay, the answer is false. There are 5 steps to writing a good summary. And we're going to look at those steps in today's class. And if you have any questions, Matrix, you are welcome to write them down or raise them or raise your hand. Okay. Let's have a look at the first step. It says there you have to fill in the missing words. So carefully. What do you have to do there? This is step one. This is something you have to do so that you can write a good summary. What's the first thing you have to do? Read the question carefully. That's right, Bongi. You're absolutely right. Read the instructions. So step one has to do with instructions as well. So the missing words there are read and the question. This is the first thing you do. Remember, we spoke on Wednesday about how the summary is part of paper 1 and it's section B, question 2. It's worth 10 marks. So the following steps that we're going to look at in this quiz will help you get those 10 marks. I think it's possible to get those 10 marks as long as you keep practicing and as long as you follow these 5 steps, you can get those 10 marks. Okay, so what else should you do in step 1? Bongi has already mentioned what should be done in step 1. You should also read the instructions. So the instructions will tell you what you have to do. They will tell you that you have to write 7 points and your word count is 70 words. They will tell you that you have to number your summary from 1 to 7. And what else? The instructions will also tell you to write the summary in your own words. Another important thing with the question is the keywords. So the question will tell you what the summary is about. And not only will it tell you what the summary is about, what the longer text or your extract is about, but you'll also identify the heading for your summary just from reading the question. Okay, so try to remember that with step 1. Grade 12, please take notes. I think this will be very useful. I hope you are typing what we're talking about, or you have your pen and paper, or you're screenshotting or taking photos of what we're talking about. It's very important. It's 10 marks in paper 1. Okay. Let's look at this next question. The next question is about the draft. True or false? Step 2, write your first draft. So step 1 was read the question, understand the instructions, pick the keywords, identify the heading for your summary. That was step 1. Now we're looking at step 2. Is this true or is this false? Write your first draft. For step 2. Bongi says it is false. You're absolutely right, Bongi. It is false. And this is why it is false. It is false because, so wait, so if it's false, then what are you doing in step 2 before I give you the answer? So what is step 2? So you're definitely right. We are not writing the summary yet, but what is step 2? So step 2 is reading the summary, reading the extract. So you're actually reading the longer piece that you're going to be summarizing. Okay. And we're not only going to read this piece passively. So it's definitely up to you how many times you choose to read this piece, the longer piece. But when you read it, you are reading it with a game plan. You are strategically going to read it. What I mean by that is you are going to identify the key sentences. And how do you identify the key sentences or the main ideas? The question. The question will tell you what you need to summarize, what you need to identify, what you need to do here. And as you read, you must recall the instructions. 7 points. So you must make sure that as you underline the key sentences, you are numbering the points. That this is the first one. Do I have enough? Okay, so you actively read the summary, the extract. I keep calling the extract the summary. My apologies. Okay. Name 4 things teachers look for when marking summaries. What are teachers looking for? So you can get those 10 marks. What do you have to do? What criteria do you have to meet to get 10 marks? Okay, Bongi says grammar. Yes, definitely. So we are, okay, grammar is 1. So there's 4. What's the other 3 before I give you the answer? Shelly, Sonia, what do you guys think? The 4 things that teachers look for when marking your summary. Bongi says whether you used your own words, that's also correct. So that's 2. So 2 more to go. Shelly says, check the word limit. Definitely. Bongi also says spelling. So the grammar spelling fall into 1 category. So Shelly, you're definitely right that you also should check the word limit. So not only do we check it, but you have to write it down. Okay, you have to include it. We might not give you a mark for including it, but I think you might be penalized for not including it. So let's have a look. Here are the 4 things. We're looking for 7 correct points, and those 7, each point is equal a mark, and that's what gives you the 7 marks. Okay. The other 3 marks come from the correct usage of grammar, spelling, and punctuation. That makes up your 10 marks. Okay, and as Shelly mentioned, the word count, and as Bongi said, your own words. So these are the 4 most important things we look for. Please keep this in mind. Like I said, I believe 100% is possible with summaries. Just follow these steps and practice, practice, practice. And what I'd like to say to you, grade 12, is what you can do for practice is take newspaper articles or magazine clips and short ones, because remember your summaries are about 250 words. So take very short ones and create your own question. Like go through the article, see what it talks about, create your own question. And by question, remember we said the question includes instructions as well. So write your own question, include your own instructions, and then write down the summary. Write down your 7 points. Just practice in that way. Okay, Shelly has a question. She says, when writing a summary, should you use your own words most of the time to answer the question in the summary, or should you use the given extracts? Okay, so it is very important to use your own words. So you can paraphrase the points, and you can take out words that are unnecessary. That's the whole point of a summary, because you're trying to make things shorter. So you will take out words that are unnecessary, and you will substitute words. Okay, so try to use synonyms. It will be helpful to use that. And if you're getting summaries for homework, you can use your thesaurus, or you can use other resources you used when you're doing your work. Unfortunately, in exam setting, you won't be able to do that. So try to use your own words, but you're getting these words. Oh, I think I get what you're trying to ask, Shelly. Are you asking about your opinion? Because you can't use your opinion in summaries. Ah, there we go. Okay. Okay, so with summaries, unlike with other forms of writing, you can't use your views, your analysis, or your opinion. You can't use any of that. You have to use what is given to you, and you have to just make it shorter. That is all. Okay. I know it becomes I think that's one of the reasons why summaries become very challenging, because we're always telling you to analyze, to give more information so you can get more marks. But the rules don't apply in summaries. Okay. All right. I see that you understand. Thank you so much, Shelly, for that question. And I'm glad that you get it now. Let's go on to the next question. So here is a summary. I want you to just take a moment reading the points, and you have to give the following summary a heading. But before you do that, what is missing? Let's say that now this is a final summary, it's been submitted, and you are a teacher and you're getting ready to mark. What is missing with the summary? What's the one thing that you notice that is missing with the summary? What is missing with the summary? So yes, they have the 7 points. Shelly, you are right. There's no word count at the end. So already this person is in trouble. The teacher's not impressed. No word count. That's absolutely right. Okay, so go over the 7 points, and just by reading the points, I want you to tell me what the summary or the title of this summary should be. So I'm just going to give you a few seconds to go over the points. Sonia says study tips. Yes, that's right. So you could say study tips, study guide, exam preparation, something along those lines. You're absolutely correct. So this is why a summary is a topic for your summary is important, because it won't make sense to anybody if they're just reading this. They won't know what it's about without the summary, without the topic of your summary. Okay, and you get the topic, remember, from the question. All right, now looking at this, how many points or how many marks would you give this learner out of 10? So the summary is out of 10. What mark would you give the student out of 10? Okay, Shelly says 9. Why do you say 9, Shelly? So what mark would you give the student out of 10? Bongi says 8. It seems like you guys are very impressed with the summary. Nice. Okay. But I need to know why. Shelly says because there's no word count only, but aside from that, she mastered it. Okay. Bongi says she lost a mark when it comes to grammar. Fantastic. You're absolutely right. But remember, grammar, spelling, and punctuation are worth 3 marks. So I want you to tell me where the mistakes are that made her lose the 3 marks. So I think she would get 7 out of 10 because she made a couple of mistakes. I think the points are good. They're really good. Shelly says she didn't notice the grammar. Okay, have a look at it's not so much grammar, but it's spelling. Tell me where the errors are. Where are the spelling mistakes? Bongi says number 3 and 7, definitely. There's also one more. So there's 3 in this summary. So it's 7. That plenty is incorrect. It's supposed to be plenty. Plenty. Sonia says number 5. Sonia, you're definitely right. So the errors are 3, 7, and 5. That brakes, that's what you find in your car alongside the clutch and the other pedal that now I've forgotten what it is. Yeah, so it's supposed to be BREAKS. And where's the other error, number 3? That's what you write on WhatsApp and on Twitter, not in your English class. Okay. All right, before we move on, I'm just curious because these are study tips and they're saying in number 6, you should snack on brain food. Do you guys snack on brain food, and what brain food do you snack on? What brain food do you snack on? Daily snacks on fruits. Nice. I've heard that nuts are very good, but I haven't tried them. I don't think I've tried snacking when I'm studying, actually. I think I just try to drink lots of water. And I think I eat the wrong things. I eat sweets. So maybe you guys can tell me the right things that work for you and I can try that. Sonia says chocolate house too. Ooh, Sonia, I like that idea because I really like my chocolate. So I won't feel bad because you guys are saying it's good in the house. So, but the chocolate that you're talking about, Sonia, is it dark chocolate or just any chocolate? Because I know dark chocolate, I think, is healthier. I'm not sure because I don't like it than the other chocolates. Shelly says it should be an energy bar. Oh, okay. Interesting. All right, I'll try that. I'll try to have fruits and some energy bars when I study. Step 3. This is where you have to plan your summary. You are checking if the underlined sentences are numbered and that you have 7 points. So step 2 is read the extract, and you are actively reading, you are underlining. 3, you are checking if what you've underlined answers the question. So how much time should you spend on step 2 and 3? You have 30 minutes, remember? So I would say for step 1, you are spending a minute because step 1 is just reading the question. Okay, let's say maybe 2 minutes so that you clear, maximum 2 minutes. You are reading the question, you are reading the instructions, you are picking up the keywords, which is the title for your summary and which tells you what this actual extract is going to be about. So how much time should you spend on reading, underlining, familiarizing yourself with the text? So you have 30 minutes and you've spent 2 on reading the instructions and the question. How much time should you spend on reading the text and finding out which words, which sentences are important for your 7 points? What do you think, ladies? What do you think, class? Ten minutes? What do you think about 10 minutes? Do you think that's enough? Or should it be 15 minutes? Should you spend 10 or 15 minutes reading? Shelly says 10 minutes is good. Okay. Sonia and Bongi, what do you guys say? 10 minutes? Do you disagree? Sonia also says 10 is good. Bongi, what do you say? Okay, so everybody agrees that 10 minutes should be enough. Okay, so you're spending 10 minutes on reading, underlining, okay, and checking. So how many times should you read the text? How many times should you read the text? Bongi says at least twice. Muhammad also says twice. Welcome, Muhammad. Sonia says twice. Shelly says twice as well, so you understand it better. All right, fantastic. Okay, it seems like everybody thinks at least twice. So in that 10 minutes, you're reading at least twice. But you know, 250 words is not a lot, actually. But I like that idea that you guys want to read more than once so that you are sure and you can check that everything is in order. You know, with summaries, I think it's simpler when you're in your English class to do summaries because you have the question and the instruction. But when you have to summarize for when you are studying, it becomes more challenging. So I want to know from you any tips for your other subjects, how you should go about summarizing for your other subjects. So I just want to find out from you any tips when it comes to summarizing for your other subjects. What should you do? What works for you? Mohammed says looking for main keywords. Nice. Okay. What else can you do? Highlighting. Okay, highlighting. Nice. Thanks, Bongi. Another tip is, how do you know what the main keywords are? So this is what you can do. Because if you're not clear on what the keywords are, you will struggle finding them. So it's very important to know what the keywords are. So what you can do is when you're writing your summary, do it is done in English. You have a question. So create a question for yourself. Ask yourself, okay, with this section, what do I need to find out? So create a question for yourself. And you can actually create your own instructions as well of how long do I want my summary to be? You don't have to be specific on the words, but tell yourself how long do I want it to be, and force yourself to use your own words, because by using your own words, it shows how well you understand what you're reading. I think sometimes that's the biggest challenge, especially with other subjects, that you can't put the content into your own words. But try that. It will be very helpful because it will demonstrate your comprehension. All right. Let's look at the next question. Step 4. Filling the missing word. Summary. So we've already read the question. We've read the question carefully. We've read the abstract. We've underlined. We've planned our summary. We've checked the key sentences. What do you do now when you've done all of that? What's the next thing to do? And without doing this thing, you can't get marks at all. You can do the other ones, but without doing this one, there's no way you can get marks. That's a big clue. Mohammed says, write the first draft. Definitely. This is where the writing takes place. You have to write the first draft. And how do you write the first draft? You go back to your underlined key points and you write them in your own words. That's how you do your first draft. Okay. So we said we're spending 10 minutes on reading and checking if the points are correct. How much time should you spend on writing your first draft? So far, you spent 12 minutes out of the 30. Another 10 or 15? 10 or 15, which one? What do you say? Shelly says 10. Sonia also says 10. Okay, I think 10 is also good. It depends on, I think maybe 10 minimum, and maybe if you're pushing it, make it 15 minutes. So you can go back as well and check. But the next step is where you can do, oopsie. Okay, so the next step is editing. This is where you get your 3 marks and you're writing the final draft. So the 5th step, you have to write and edit your draft. Okay. And when you write and edit your draft, you are checking for grammar, you are checking for punctuation, you are checking for spelling, and you make sure that all those things are there. All those things are correct. Okay. So after today's quiz revision, I want to know from you, how do you feel now about writing summaries? Do you think you can get a 10 out of 10 now? Tell me how much you think you can get the next time you write a summary. What mark do you think you will get the next time you write a summary? Okay. What mark? Ooh, Shirley, I love the confidence. 10. Okay. Nice. I think 10 is possible. After this lesson, with a lot of practice, you can definitely get 10. So the next thing we're going to look at in the next 10 minutes is a poem we looked at last term. So this is just revision. Grade 12, are you familiar with this poem? Have you done it before in class? If you have a thumbs up, give me a thumbs up or a yes, ma'am. So we looked at this poem last term, and it is one of your prescribed poems. It's called Remember by Christina Rosetti. I would like a volunteer that will read the poem for us. If you'd like to read the poem, please raise your hand or say, ma'am, I'd like to read. Okay, Shelley would like to read. Host, can you please unmute Shelley? Thank you, Shelley, for volunteering to read.
Okay. Shall I read now?
Please.
Okay. Remember by Christina Rosetti. Remember me when I'm gone away, gone far away into the silent land, when you can no more hold me by the hand. No, I have turned to go, yet turning away, turning stay. Remember me when no more day by day. You told me of our future that you planned. Only remember me, you understand. It'll be late to console then or pray. Yet if you should forget me for a while and afterwards remember, do not grieve. For if the darkness and corruption leave a vestige of the thoughts that once I had, better by far you should forget and smile than you should remember and be sad.
That was absolutely amazing. I'm snapping for you. I don't know if you can hear it. Great job.
I can. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shirley. That was absolutely amazing. So that is our poem by Christina Rosetti. I need to know from you, what do you do when you come across a poem? What's the first thing you do? What tips do you use to analyze a poem? Mohammed, you say you number each line. Why do you number each line, Mohammed? Ah, okay. I think I know, but I want to hear from you. Why do you number each line? What else do you guys do when you have a poem in front of you? Exactly what I thought, Mohammed. It's easier when you to refer to a specific line when you have to answer the questions. Nice. I've never thought of that tip, Mohammed. Thank you for that one. I'm actually going to include it in my list. Nice. Okay. Bongi says you have to identify the rhyme scheme. Fantastic. Okay. So what do you do first? Do you first identify the rhyme scheme or do you read? Or do you number? Which one do you do? Do you number each line? Do you identify the rhyme scheme? Or do you, what do you do? Do you read first? Shelly says, I read first. Sonia also says read first, okay? So how do you go about the reading? Do you read once? Mohammed says read, then number each line, and then analyze. Oh, okay, nice. So do you read silently? How do you go about the reading? And how many times do you do it? Shirley says you read aloud. All right, fantastic. Sonia says you read twice. Good, yes. Those are great answers, class, because reading aloud helps you to get the feel of the poem. Okay, you'll get the mood and the tone. And when you read it a couple of times out loud, you will know when the next time to stop or to read faster or to read in a lower tone voice. So those are very good tips. Fantastic. So you read a couple of times out loud, and then you identify the rhyme scheme, and then you you number each line, and then you analyze the poem. Okay. All right. So just by reading now, what can you tell me about this poem? So you've already read out loud once at least. Because of time, we won't be reading aloud again, but that's what you should do. Read a couple of times. So just by reading now, what else can you, what's the rhyme scheme? Because you said you should identify the rhyme scheme. So now we're going to apply what you guys told me. What's the rhyme scheme? What type of poem is it? Let's start with that one. What type of poem is this? What is the form? Okay. What type of poem is this? What type of poem is this? Sometimes this question can be phrased differently. Your teachers can ask you, tell us about the form of the poem. So I'll give you a hint. Count the lines. How many lines is it? That's the only hint I'm giving you. Remember, Muhammad already says you must number each line. So by now you've already numbered each line and you know how many lines there are. So count the lines. Bongi says, yes, it's a Petrarchan sonnet. Shelly also says it's a sonnet. Perfect, yay. That's me snapping for the answers. That's great. Okay, fantastic. Okay, let's go to the questions. So you already know it's a sonnet. True or false? The theme of the poem is everlasting love. True or false? The theme of the poem is everlasting love. Okay, let's go back so you can have a look at the poem again. Is the theme about everlasting love? Oopsie. False. Okay. Okay, before we look at the answers. Bongi says false. Shelly says true. Sonia says true. Okay, the answer is false. The poem is about not being forgotten after death. The title says remember. Okay. Okay, my slides are misbehaving today. Bongi, you're right, it is about remembrance. And now I've just given you the answer. Okay, a sonnet has 6 and 4 lines. That is false. A sonnet has 14 lines. And this is a Petrarchan sonnet, as you've noted. And let's just quickly look at the difference between a Shakespearean and a Petrarchan sonnet. And then we'll end our lesson there. Okay, so on one side, There's this is the table of comparison. On one side, it's about Petrarchan sonnets, and the other, it's Shakespearean. They both have 14 lines, and the Petrarchan sonnet is divided into 2 sections. The octave, remember, oct 8, and the sestet, 6 lines. The Shakespearean one is divided into 4 sections. It has 3 quatrains, which present the problem, and a couplet right at the end, which summarizes the problem. And they both have different rhyme schemes, as you can see at the bottom. Okay, so we're not going to look at these questions because we are out of time. Okay, we can look at them when we recap on Monday. And that is it. That is it. Great talks. Thank you so much for coming to today's lesson. You were all awesome. Thank you, Bongi. Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you, Shelly. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you so much to all of you. It was lovely having you in today's class. Please remember to send me your homework. Mohammed, thank you for sending me your summary homework. And if you don't have the summary homework, please email me and I will send you the homework. I'm not giving you any homework today. Email me. There's my email address. Okay. Yes, the lesson is every day at the same time. Okay. You can send it here. Here's my email address. You can send Shelly. There it is. You can send your homework here. And if you have any questions,